Welcome back to Tipping Point. I'm your host, Kara McKinney. In Oregon, decriminalizing the personal possession of small amounts of drugs led to such nasty repercussions like increased crime, fatal overdoses, and homelessness that the liberal state had to reverse course. Someone should give that warning to Germany, which is now voting to essentially decriminalize possession of child porn. There are now enough votes in the Bundestag to remove a line of text from the country's criminal code to reclassify possession of child porn as a misdemeanor and not as a felony crime. This allows the minimum penalty of a year in prison upon what was a felony conviction to be reduced to just 3 months. And who knows how many judges will waive even that, given how lax the new reclassification is. Of course, the move is being celebrated by essentially pro-pedophilia groups in Germany like K13. Since the 60s, the leaders of this activist group have been in and out of prison on, you guessed it, child pornography charges. They believe that the age of consent should be lowered to at least 12, and that children younger than that, even going down to the age of a toddler, should be, in their words, open for discussion. If you feel your blood boiling with rage, you're not alone. Germany is a country where they criminalize conservative beliefs as being illegal hate speech. They're talking openly about banning the only political party which opposes mass migration and the uptick in sexual violence that comes with it. But they're fine with pedos, it seems. That's where they draw the line on decency. It's scary because that is where the pro-pedophilia part of the woke left is trying to take us here in America by implementing the beliefs of the evil 20th century American sexologist, Dr. Alfred Kinsey, who used data taken from infant boys who were sexually molested to try and claim that human beings are sexual from birth. That is part of the calculus on small children in our own K-12 school system being exposed to sex and sexuality, especially the most perverse kinds, by activists parading as school teachers or administrators. It's no coincidence that the same Supreme Court justice who couldn't define what a woman is also has a long track record on the bench of reducing penalties for sex fiends guilty of possessing large amounts of child pornography on their digital devices. The few who dare to stand up against this and against other forms of woke indoctrination can expect to face extreme backlash, as our next guest tonight did. However, after being fired over her Christian beliefs from a school district in Southern California, our next guest sued and won a $360,000 settlement just last week. So join us now to discuss is fired public school teacher Jessica Tapia and her lawyer, Julie Ann Fleischer, legal counsel for Advocates for Faith and Freedom. Ladies, thanks so much for being here tonight. Jessica, let's start with you. What is your story, if you could explain and introduce yourself to our audience? How did you come to be fired for basically being Christian?
Right. So it's really interesting how it all got started. I was at the end of my 6th year of teaching. I was a tenured teacher here in SoCal, and students decided to look me up on social media. There they found my Christian conservative views and really took issue to those. They submitted several of my posts, a couple videos to the school district, and the district basically sided with the students and saw it as an issue that I was putting my opinions and beliefs out there. And so from there, I had these directives placed on me, and that from there on out, I would have to follow, such as I now needed to call students by their preferred pronouns. I would need to withhold that information from their parents. And I was in the unique position as a PE teacher overseeing a girls' locker room, which I also learned at that time that I would have to allow transgenders into. I clarified, are you saying a boy? I might have to let a boy in, and they said yes if he is now identifying as a female. So I was convicted over all of those and really found myself with a huge decision to make, and actually took off stress leave for a few months to figure out what I was going to decide to do, because I knew it was possible that I might lose my job if I stood up to this beast. And in the end, that is what the Lord called me to do. And I just spoke out and said, I can't comply with these things. They go completely against my faith and my beliefs. And I was then terminated because they could not accommodate my Christian beliefs.